Hi, I'm Quinn Lemley with Secrets of the Stage. This is the place where we pull back the curtains and we dive into the creative process. And speaking of creative process, today I have the president of the Metropolitan College of New York, yes. Dr. Charles J Gibbs.
Yes, thank you.
I can't believe you're here.
Hey, we're winning.
You have arrived.
Thank you, Quinn.
Your college is so important. You're dealing with entrepreneurs and you're serving Manhattan, New York.
Absolutely. Well, not only just Manhattan. I mean, that's just we have a campus on our lower Manhattan campus, but then we have a campus in the South Bronx.
Right.
So we have two campuses. You know, we have about 12,000 alum that
wow.
have come through our doors. We're celebrating 60 years.
All right.
Thank you to our trailblazing founder.
She was a woman.
Audrey Cohen.
Yes.
In 1964, you know, had a vision of a purpose-centered education.
I love
with intentionality for women.
And community,
and
too.
And community against the war on poverty. And so she had the vision. There's many doors that have closed in her face. I said, no, no, no. And she said, yes, yes, yes.
Those women in the 60s, they were
trailblazers.
happening,
and
right.
Here we are 60 years later, Metropolitan College of New York, serving the 5 boroughs and tri-state of our community. Some of our greatest alumni are in the boroughs of nonprofit, in government agencies, entrepreneurs, doing some really, really great work.
And you just got a huge grant.
For STEM education.
STEM education.
The National Science Foundation awarded.
That is huge.
Oh my God, $2.9 million. If you tell my staff, my faculty, they said, no, Dr. Gibbs, it's $3 million. We just rounded it up.
Oh.
But we are so blessed. It's a transformational grant. It's really to impact STEM education and certainly mathematics in our public schools.
And you're starting like a new program.
Yeah, it's under the Robert E. Noyes Grant Foundation, where we are training teachers to go back into our public schools here in New York City, certainly teachers of color. I'm a very strong opponent of putting more black male teachers into our classrooms as role models.
That's great.
But yet also are educated, and we have a great program in our School of Human Services and Education, which is where that grant is housed at. Dr. Patrick Ianello, who's just a phenomenal scholar, is doing a great job, and with his team, Dean Hsu, who are just trailblazers in the education field. And one of the things that's so important to me is that it's really focused on K through 12 special education, and so
which is so important.
Which is so important. So we're just excited. It's a good, but we need more.
Right. We always need more.
We always need more.
Hungry.
We always
We're
need
hungry.
more. So I'll be clear to tell your listeners to visit www.mcny.edu to learn more about the program.
Like what are ways that people can participate?
Well, you know, I look at
writing checks. Definitely.
I look at it a couple of different ways. I look at there's donors that want to participate in the process, but don't have a lot of time to volunteer or give.
Right.
But they give with their treasures. Then you have those that are doers, those that just want to volunteer, don't have a lot of treasures, don't have a lot of resources, but have time. And so I say to my alumni that I don't want just your treasures. I want your time too and your expertise. Our alumni are doing some great things in our community. They're hiring managers. Come back and be an alum in residence, an executive in residence. Share your experience. But then we have door openers. Door openers are individuals that say, hey, I'm not volunteering. I don't have any treasures, but I got a door that I can open up for you.
What I have a clip that I have to show. When I saw this clip, I just thought it was wonderful because you like to force the hinges off the door and keep it open.
Yes.
So can we, let's run it. Let's watch it.
Let's run it.
Life is good. And I only stand here today because I was touched. God saw a favor in me to bring me to Metropolitan College of New York as its first African-American president and our first African-American chairman of the board, and Gary Jenkins. But I want to make sure that we're very clear. Your education, as noted by our founder, who was a trailblazer, Audrey Cohen, who stated, the real test of learning is not what we know, but what we accomplish with what we know and we get it. Use your power to empower somebody else. I was having a conversation with one of our honorees, and today is very clear. It's time, MCNY, that we stop becoming the first. Hear me. The time is for us to take control and make it happen. I told my sons, when you walk through the door, don't close it. Kick it off the hinges so you can bring somebody else behind you. Come on. Class of 2024, when you make it through the door, don't close it. Kick the door off the hinges and bring somebody along. That's what we are. Now that's a purpose. The purpose to want to excel, the purpose to want to succeed, the purpose to having an impact in your community. Now, to be clear, this is not about me. It's about you, but it is about us. Because after today, you are considered my alumni. In order for us, come on now, y'all act like you don't know what I'm talking about. Now, you know the only thing that makes the university tick is the support of our alumni and our friends and our stakeholders that will believe in what we do here at MCNY. So I'm going to count on you to support me and my administration to take the doors off the hinges to bring some more graduates through this door. Come on. I need each of you to find 5 individuals in your community or your family and tell them about the great experience you had at MCNY and make sure they enroll. Give them the same experience that you've experienced working with this gracious faculty. You have a president that supports you. So I want you to find 5 people and tell them about the experience and the trajectory that MCNY is on.
I love that.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
showing a lot of it because there was so much messaging in what you're saying. And I like the call to action, 5
Yes.
people. It's
Yes.
something that everybody can do.
Yes, well, what's important is that we spread the word, right? If I've had something good, I want to be able to share it with somebody else. And certainly if I see myself in someone else who has the potential, who has the passion, who wants to take their game and their lifestyle to the next level, it's incumbent upon us as leaders to share that, not to keep it to yourself.
Absolutely.
And so I want to encourage our alumni, I want to encourage our partners, our board of trustees, our current students, who are all salespeople of MCNY, that when you go back into your community as faculty members, as students, as staff, and they say, how was your day? It was outstanding. I'm challenging my leadership team every week to tell me, what students have you helped along the way? How did you make their journey at MCNY a little better than it was last week? And at each moment, when we touch each life, we're going to make a difference.
Well, what I love is that you use community in so many of the ways that you touch people's lives.
Yes.
And there was something that you said earlier in your speech where you were saying, you know, it's not just the people that are graduating; it's the babysitter, the grandmother,
That's right.
you know, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those people.
Yeah, well, it takes a village.
It
right?
does take a village.
I mean, we deal with a different population of students. Our students are normally between the ages of 24 or 34, and they've been out of school for some time, and they're coming back because they want to take their economical status in life to another level. So there's a lot of anxiety that coming back into a classroom, sitting down, taking exams.
How do they find you?
Well, we're advertising, you know, word of mouth, and again, that community, whether it's through our website, whether it's through our marketing efforts. We have a great marketing team. We have a great admissions enrollment team that are out in the community, engaging our community, opening up our doors to the community for summer engagement, year-round engagement. It is a collective effort. It's not just one way or just putting an ad in our subways or on our billboards. Those are great advertisements.
But seeing it in action.
Seeing our alumni out there in action in their communities, in their workplaces, that's how you hear about MCNY. Oh. And you know, it's so interesting, the other day, we have our new lapel pins called MCNY lapel pins. And a young man asked me the other day, he said, "Are you a Secret Service agent?"
I love it.
I said, "Well, no, I'm a college president." Wow. Right now we're changing the narrative.
And you're having a dialogue.
And having a dialogue with someone that you just saw in the supermarket. So
that's great.
For me, it's about getting the word out through all of our people that engage with the institution. So I encourage our faculty, our staff, when you go to your churches, you go to your schools, you go to your summer family vacation, that you talk about MCNY. And that's how we build community. So when I was saying, you know, it took a village to get here, because our students are working. They're working professionals, they're parents, you know, they're caregivers, but they're still trying to find a way to balance their life along with education. And so you got to call grandma and say, can you watch my son? Can you watch your grandson? Or, you know, you have to go to class this evening and somebody has to watch your child or your daughter. It takes somebody.
I know. I spend every day after school with Granny Lemley. She's the one that taught me about all the Broadway people in the movies and everything. She taught me everything.
That's what makes us community. And so, like, you say Granny?
Granny Lemley.
Granny Lemley.
Well, I'm from Indiana,
hey,
so you know.
Right.
Now, you are the first African American president of NCNY. What do you want your legacy to be?
Well, you know, for me, I let the historians write the text.
Right.
What I do is I show up every day and I go to work. There's going to be, it's a subjective writing on what a legacy is, right? Some are going to enjoy it. Some are going to say, I can't stand them. Right?
No,
There's
they're
going to be some
love
that's going to say, I love him. There's somebody, he just turned us around. There's a lot of different narratives that can come out of that. But I've always practiced in my 25 plus years in higher education that legacy is what happens in the moment. It happens in the moment of when the student comes to you with a situation that they need assistance with. The legacy is, do you pass them off to a voicemail, or do you say, hold on and solve the problem right then and there? That's legacy to me.
So it's the connection.
That student will remember that at that moment, Dr. Gibbs took care of it right then and there. He didn't just pass me to the voicemail. He waited till the person picked up the phone, explained my situation, and then handed it off. Legacy is when I get a call 10 years from now from a student that needed a financial aid, or a student that needed a scholarship, a student that didn't believe that they can enroll in college, but we went to a college fair and now they're enrolled and they're graduating with their master's degree, and they send me a Christmas card for the next 10 years, and they remember that moment. That's legacy for me. So legacy is the lives that we touch along the way. And for me, if I wake up every day and can change a life before I rest in the evening, which I don't rest, but
I can see
then my legacy is sealed. So the technical aspect of it, I'll leave it for the historians, but for practical purposes, I live in a moment of a legacy. And my dad always told me, make sure that it's better than it was when you found it.
That's beautiful.
So when you leave, make sure that it's better than it was when you found it. And if we do that, we win it.
Well, and you're doing so many events now. When I sent my text of the set, I sent a picture of Ernie Arnastis, and he is going to be the host of your event in October.
Listen, I can't wait for Ernie to do his thing.
He's amazing.
He's a rock star. He's a legend. He's going to be hosting our Power of Purpose luncheon on October 23rd.
Perfect.
At the Manhattan. So we hope that individuals who want to support that event.
So what happens in this event?
Well, this is where we recognize trailblazers. I mean, we have some great honorees. Ernie is going to just, wow the crowd. But we want the community to come out, not only just, our honorees and their families. So I encourage your viewers and your listeners to visit us at www.mcny.edu. If you look to the far right, you're going to see a big icon that says donate. Click on that button. So there's 2 points to this. Click on that button, and then you scroll down a little further, it's going to say reoccurring. Hit that button too, so you can support us monthly. But go to our website, you'll see the Power of Purpose Luncheon. And that's where we recognize trailblazers in our community. And we have some really dynamic scholars. We have some great civil servants that we're recognizing, and it's just going to be a great event.
And it's a luncheon,
it's
it's easy.
It's easy. It's easy. There's opportunity for individualized tickets as well as sponsorship opportunities, tables.
Right.
And listen, here's the deal about MCNY. MCNY is one of those institutions that is very unique, that separate us from the rest of the pack. We love our partnering institutions here in New York City.
What are your partnering institutions?
Well, CUNY, you have SUNY, you have just a lot of great institutions that are really doing some great things. One of the unique things about MCNY is that our education is centered around a purpose-centered education. What does that mean, Dr. Gibbs? Well, you're going to school and you're learning for a particular purpose where we take theory and apply it to the practical work experience. So we combine the two. Every student that comes into our program has a vision or has to create this thesis. And you identify a problem within your workspace or in your community, and you develop a constructive action around that.
Beautiful.
The constructive action is you identify the problem, you find the solutions for it, and then you measure the success of it.
How do you measure the success?
Well, research, and you monitor, and you observe the data of how does this process become more efficient. How do we become more leaner? These are things that companies hire marketing executives to do, to come in and do an analysis on how to make your business more proficient and efficient in its services. Well, our students who are working within those companies can do that as a part of their accelerated program.
This is great, especially for your entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. And again,
because we have to do that for ourselves as entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I'm really focused on now, is how do we become more leaner, but yet more efficient in our offerings. The course offerings are extremely important to this generation of learners.
And you want to do what, tech and get more into the high end?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're working on a blueprint now for an innovation and entrepreneur center, where we can bring in individuals like yourself into an innovation center where we can ideate with young professionals who want to work behind the camera or in front of the camera, animation, artificial intelligence. Our students today, and this is not just here at MCNY, but students across the globe, are looking to find ways to not spend 4 years in brick and mortar with $100,000 in debt.
I know, I went to NYU,
so we're trying to find a way to create these micro-credentialing programs, these certification programs, where companies are saying, hey, it's not about a degree per se, but if you have certain levels of skill-based learning and certification and expertise in a certain subject matter, that can be $80,000, $75,000 to your salary, and you can still go to school and get your graduate degree or your undergraduate degree. So innovation, entrepreneurship is something that we're focused on, but more importantly, just how do we meet our students where they are.
Is it different being an educator teaching in New York City and running a college?
I grew up in New Jersey.
Okay.
Right? I grew up in a beautiful place called Montclair, New Jersey.
Beautiful.
Went to Howard University in Washington, D.C., where I achieved and earned my 3 degrees, former student athlete, and then went to Birmingham, Alabama.
Right.
So deep South, but then ended up in Atlanta, Georgia, another large metropolitan city. But nothing is like New York.
But are the learning needs, are the people different? Are the students different?
Well, I think in higher ed, the more diverse you are, Clark Atlanta University, for example, is the largest membered United Negro College Fund membered institution in the system. So 5,000, 6,000 students, right? It's a diversity, right? Our graduate programs are so diverse. When I was at Howard, I was an administrator. Our medical school, our dental school, the diversity is just phenomenal from all over the country. So when you look at the balance of the need of the students and the demographics, it kind of fares out because everybody's actually there really for the one purpose, and that is to get an education. I just happen to be fortunate enough to work at 3 historically black colleges and universities. That was a great experience for me. And here in New York, 90% above our students are African Americans or Latinos. So we're still serving a great marginalized community of scholars. Some of our students who are attending these schools that I worked at are coming from some of the most economically challenged communities across the globe, and some of them, or majority of them, are first-time generational scholars, right?
That's beautiful.
Going to school for the first time. So
they meet someone like you and they say, I can be that. I can do that.
It took somebody for me. It took me to see somebody to say I can do that as well.
Who said, I see something in you?
I'll give you a story. His name was Homer Robertson.
Okay.
Coach Robertson. One day I'm walking to class, and I used to be a special ed student, so I understood not having the blueprint for college. I had 6 people in my classroom. I went through the front door, went to the right, went downstairs, and I stayed there for 6 classes until I went to lunch or recess. But it took Homer Robertson one day. I was late to that class, and he was the only one that can call me Charlie. He said, Charlie, he said, come here. He said, where are you going? I said, I'm on my way to class, Coach Rob. He said, class? Class started 30 minutes ago. He said, you walking around here like you don't have any place to go. He said, when you walk like you got some place to go. Pick up your feet.
Yes.
That's why when my sons, when they were younger, and they used to walk with these flip-flops on and drag their feet, I'm like, man, pick your feet up, even if you have flip-flops on. But anybody who knows me, when I walk, I can go from here to the bathroom, and I walk like I got some place to go. There's a sense of urgency and a sense of purpose when I get up and move. And when I was at Miles College, I had a program called Suited and Booted Wednesdays, right?
What is it?
Suited and Booted Wednesdays.
I love it.
And I used to challenge students to say, where are you going? I put that on my door. Where are you going? And they was like, oh, I'm going to the cafeteria. I'm going to the exercise room. I said, no, where are you going?
I love that.
When you woke up this morning, where are you going?
Yes.
Is it going to be better than it was yesterday? Are you going to your destiny? Or are you just walking just to pass time? And it resonates with the young people.
Yeah, Ernie said that too about, and people need purpose.
You got to have purpose. And here we are, purpose-centered education. There's a reason why you're studying at Metropolitan College of New York. That's so wonderful. Absolutely. And you're trying to raise money for another grant? Absolutely. Well, I mean, 2.99 isn't it a million? Is a drop in the bucket. Okay. It's a transformational grant. Okay. And we are so humbled by it. But and like what's going to happen with the grant? How is? Well, we're going to put more teachers into the schools. Great. Right? We're going to open up our doors. We're going to open up our programs. We're going to train the next generation of leaders. I am interested in building the Black talent pipeline by putting more students of color into our classrooms so that our young men and women can see individuals like me and you who look like them to take their game to the next level. Now, I've challenged our team, and I will challenge our stakeholders. We need more support. We're not immune to the post-COVID era. We're not immune to the post-George Floyd era, when institutions saw a lot of revenue coming into our historically Black colleges and universities. Well, those dollars are slowly drying up. Right. Right? And so we're still saying, as the president of Metropolitan College of New York, we need more support in order to give our students the best opportunity to be prepared for not the jobs of yesterday, not the jobs of today, not the careers of the past, but the careers that haven't even been created yet. I love that. Companies are still sitting around and putting millions of dollars in R&D on what it's going to look like 20 years from now. We want to be a partner in saying, well, how can we help your workforce be prepared by training our students today for your future workforce 10 years from now to 20 years from now? Let's partner. I believe in what I call backwards mapping. Backwards mapping. I do that too. Right? Yes. Backwards, historically, our students would graduate in 4 years or 2 years or whatever that is and go to a human resources department. And then they say to us back, that they're not ready. Well, if you spend 4 years in my institution and you get to the corporate door and you're not ready, then we failed you. I want to bring corporate into our classroom, help our faculty innovate their curriculum, redesign their curriculum. Let's create small grants that we can offer to our faculty who are open for infusing technology into their classroom and into their instruction. When we start doing that, now we're talking to corporate, we're talking to our stakeholders and saying, this is what our future is going to look like. MC&Y, let's partner, and we're going to put some resources behind your curriculum, to your design, your instructions, your deliverables. We're going to bring our experts into your classroom. We're going to provide resources to your faculty to ensure that they are teaching what the future holds, not what the syllabus said 5 years ago. Right, that's so important. We have to change that. And so we're going to push that needle, and those are the partners that we're looking for. And
using young minds
Absolutely.
to infuse into the
That's
corporations.
right. How do we find a way that brings them closer into the process so that they have ownership?
Traditional education, you know, they put it upon us.
That's right.
And it's so exciting to
That's
be
right.
part of the solution of designing the curriculum.
You know, no one likes to have a cake that's already baked if you're supposed to be in a bakery.
No.
Making the cake, right?
Right.
You want to see that. You want to go shopping. You want to go buy the
put it
ingredients.
together and you want to see
it
it
all
rise.
You want to get your hands dirty as
Right.
well. And then you want to open up that oven so you can look at it.
Right.
And then you want to put the frosting on it too.
Right.
And then you want to cut it together. Then you want to eat it together. Now you're growing collaboratively.
That's beautiful.
And that's the partnerships we're looking to build. Please visit www.mcny.edu. Look to the right-hand corner. It says donate. Click on that. And it doesn't matter the size. The key is that you're going to be changing a life. Students get to the threshold and find that they have a $1,000 balance or $2,000 balance and can't continue on, that we bring them through the door, but we're also going to push them forward.
I love that.
Push them forward so that they can continue to grow and don't take no for an answer.
And then they go through the door and they bring people with them,
There you
and
go.
they support through the community.
There you go.
Great. And they can visit you at
www.mcny.edu. Or you can also email me at cgibbs, Gibbs, at mcny.edu. I will respond and return your email. If it shuts down, call me at 202-550-1465.
What's that number again?
202-550-1465. Call me also. I'll pick up your call.
I love that. Now that is passion. I love it. That's how you get to the top. Dr. Gibbs, this has just been wonderful. I love purpose.
Well, we all wake up with a purpose. There has to be a reason why we get up and do what we do.
And walk.
And walk. We have a great student body, but they need your support.
Okay.
They need your voice to put us out there, to let the world see what we're doing at MCNY. Thank you very much for having us and having me.
Oh, Dr.
be
Gibbs,
here
this
today.
has just been so wonderful and inspiring, and I'm going to make sure that every time I walk with purpose.
Purpose-centered education. That's
Thank
where we
you.
are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Quinn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Until next time, I'm Quinn Lemley with Secrets of the Stage.